Gloria Gaither and her husband, Bill, have long been known as the heart and soul of gospel music, the couple whose songs carried both the weight of faith and the beauty of poetry. But now, with age catching up to her, Gloria's once strong and comforting voice trembles with emotion. In a recent message filled with tears and gratitude, she seemed to be saying farewell, not just to the stage, but perhaps to her devoted audience as well. Fans around the world are preparing themselves for what may be one of the most emotional chapters in gospel history. Behind the bright lights and applause, something deeply personal has led to this bittersweet goodbye. The question now is, what truly went on behind the scenes that brought Gloria Gaither to this quiet, heartfelt moment of farewell? For decades, Gloria has been far more than just Bill Gaither's wife. She has been the lyrical soul of many of the most powerful and enduring Christian songs ever written. Her words have inspired believers across generations, carrying messages of hope, faith, and spiritual renewal. Through her poetic brilliance, she co-wrote hundreds of Gaither classics, crafting verses that gave life to their melodies and stirred hearts across the world. Now, at 82 years old, Gloria has shared a touching message that signals a new season in her life. In a recent emotional video released by the Gaither Music Group, she expressed deep gratitude to fans for their prayers, love, and unwavering support throughout her long journey. With a voice softened by emotion, Gloria began her heartfelt message, saying that there comes a time when one feels a gentle tug on the heart, a divine whisper that it's time to enter a quieter, more reflective chapter. Though she never used the word retirement, it was clear she was stepping back from public performances and large events. Instead, she expressed her desire to spend more time with family, focusing on writing, spiritual reflection, and the kind of peaceful living that stands in contrast to the whirlwind of tours, concerts, and ministry that have defined her life for decades. Gloria Gaither, born Gloria Sickle on March 4, 1942 in Michigan, came from a family deeply rooted in Christian faith and traditional values. Her childhood home was filled with love, education, literature, and music, elements that would later shape her entire worldview. Even as a young girl, Gloria had a special gift with words. She loved reading poetry, writing essays, and exploring the power of language. After high school, she attended Anderson University, a Christian college in Indiana where she studied English. It was there that her spiritual and intellectual growth blossomed, foundations that would later shape her songwriting and ministry. During her time at Anderson, Gloria met a passionate young music teacher named Bill Gaither. What began as a simple working relationship soon turned into something deeper. Bill had already begun his musical journey, performing with his brother and sister in the Bill Gaither Trio. But when Gloria entered his life, everything changed. Their shared love for faith and creativity united them in a powerful way, and in 1962, they married, beginning a partnership that would forever change the landscape of Christian music. While Bill pursued music full-time, Gloria continued teaching English at Alexandria High School, but her extraordinary talent with words couldn't stay hidden for long. Her poetic sensitivity and emotional depth began shaping the trio's songs. Bill would compose the melodies, and Gloria, with her gift for language, would breathe life into them through heartfelt lyrics that connected deeply with listeners. One of their most iconic works, Because He Lives, was born out of one of the hardest times in their lives. The late 1960s were turbulent years. The Vietnam War, civil unrest, and deep social divisions shook the country. While expecting their third child, Gloria and Bill wrestled with fear and uncertainty about the world their child would grow up in. Bill was exhausted from constant touring, and Gloria's heart was heavy with worry. In that storm of doubt and emotion, Gloria turned to prayer. In the stillness of that moment, she felt a divine peace and renewed trust in God's promises. It was then that the words to Because He Lives began to take form. The lyrics, born not from comfort but from pain and faith, became a lifeline for millions. Released in 1971, the song spread across the world, not merely as a hymn, but as a testimony of hope in uncertain times. That song marked a turning point. It transformed Gloria's place in the Gaither legacy. No longer just the quiet partner behind the scenes, she became recognized as one of the most profound voices in Christian songwriting, a woman whose words could reach the deepest corners of the human spirit. Despite the fame, Gloria remained grounded, writing not just songs but devotionals, books, and essays filled with spiritual insight and compassion. Together, she and Bill wrote over 700 songs that are still sung in churches around the world today. What made Gloria's writing so powerful was her unique ability to blend theology with real human emotion. She wrote not from a pedestal but from experience, capturing the joys, sorrows, doubts, and triumphs of everyday life. Her lyrics spoke about being a mother, about faith during hard times, about love, and about loss. From the 1970s through the 1980s, as the Gaither vocal band rose to fame and the Homecoming series became beloved worldwide, Gloria's influence continued to shape the sound and soul of gospel music. Even when she wasn't holding the microphone, her voice could be heard in every lyric, every prayer, and every moment that touched hearts. She also became a mentor to younger Christian artists and a sought-after speaker at women's events. With her calm wisdom and reflective style, Gloria stood out in a male-dominated field. She wasn't just a writer. She was a thinker, a theologian, and a mother who understood the beauty and complexity of life. As the Gaither legacy grew, Gloria's quiet strength remained its guiding force. Through her work, she redefined what it meant to be a woman in ministry, not through performance or showmanship, but through truth and authenticity. Her lyrics carried not just melody but meaning, filled with theological insight and emotional honesty. She turned complex biblical truths into simple, relatable stories of redemption, grace, and hope. Her songs told of journeys from darkness to light, from despair to faith, stories that felt deeply human and deeply divine. Beyond her songs, Gloria became a spiritual mentor to countless women, helping them navigate faith, motherhood, and identity. Her devotionals and essays offered comfort and clarity to those facing life's everyday challenges. She never pretended to have all the answers. Instead, she guided others toward the one who did. Her humility and grace inspired generations, and her legacy continues to shape the faith of believers around the world. Now, as Gloria Gaither enters a quieter season of life, she leaves behind not just a catalog of beloved songs, but a powerful legacy of faith, wisdom, and love. From a small-town English teacher to one of the most respected voices in gospel music, her journey reminds us that true greatness often comes not from fame, but from faithfulness, and that a life lived in devotion can echo long after the music fades. Gloria Gaither's life and legacy were never about chasing fame, but about serving faithfully through music, love, and quiet strength. Alongside her husband, Bill Gaither, she helped establish the Gaither Homecoming Bible and the Gaither Family Resources Center, two projects that inspired and nurtured countless people. Through these efforts, she created opportunities for younger gospel artists, especially women, helping them find their voices and grow in an industry that often valued fame and image over sincerity and faith. Gloria became a mentor and role model not just because of her voice, but because of her soul. While many chased spotlight and recognition, she remained grounded in her mission. As she once beautifully said, "We didn't set out to be stars. We set out to be faithful." That promise has really made a difference. Every song Gloria Gaither wrote carried a piece of her life, her struggles, and her deep understanding of faith. She never sought attention, yet her quiet presence commanded respect and calm. People who spent even a moment with her often spoke of the deep wisdom she carried. Her faith wasn't something she performed. It was something she lived. It was tested and refined through real experiences in moments of joy and hardship alike. Her true ministry wasn't just on stage. It was in the way she lived each day. Friends describe her as someone who listened deeply, thought profoundly, and brought peace wherever she went. In difficult conversations, she offered calm. In chaos, she brought order. As a wife, Gloria was steadfast and loyal. During their 6-decade marriage, she and Bill worked not only as musical partners, but as true soulmates. Life on the road was far from easy. Raising 3 children while running a ministry and meeting countless expectations took strength and patience. Yet Gloria always managed to keep things in perspective. She balanced her roles as a mother, mentor, and creator with remarkable grace. Her children recall how, no matter how busy she was, she made time for them, writing songs late into the night only after they were safely tucked in. Through conversations and walks, she taught them lessons not only about faith in Jesus, but about honesty, kindness, and compassion. As a friend, Gloria was known for her wisdom and generosity. She guided pastors, artists, and writers, many of whom say she changed how they viewed their spiritual missions. What made her truly unique was her ability to recognize the gifts of others and nurture them with love. She built bridges between generations, connecting the rich traditions of gospel music's past with the evolving present. She loved old hymns, yet wasn't afraid to explore complex questions about faith. Her spirituality was strong enough to hold both certainty and doubt, showing that true faith doesn't fear the details of life. It embraces them. Gloria's life stood as a quiet example of what true greatness means. She reminded the world that fame isn't success. Faithfulness is. That a song's power comes from the depth of the person who writes it. That helping others is the purest form of leadership. Though she has stepped away from the spotlight, her legacy endures, woven through her music, her books, and the countless lives she touched. Her songs will continue to echo in churches, homes, and hospital rooms, comforting generations to come. For Gloria, her family was always her first and most sacred mission. Behind every performance, every lyric, and every book, there was always a home filled with laughter, prayer, and music. She and Bill raised 3 children, Suzanne, Amy, and Benjamin, each of whom inherited her creativity and faith in their own way. Suzanne, the eldest, became deeply involved in the Gaither family mission, working closely with her parents and co-writing several beloved songs with her mother. Her sense of organization and devotion helped carry the Gaither legacy forward. Amy, their middle child, followed her artistic spirit into poetry, acting, and teaching. She often spoke of how her mother inspired her love for language and ideas, recalling how dinner table conversations were filled with discussions about art, literature, and faith. Their youngest, Ben, became a producer and musician, co-founding Liveborn Media and continuing his parents' message through modern forms of gospel expression. All 3 children speak of Gloria not just as a loving mother, but as a guiding force, a woman who taught by example and led with gentleness. They remember her patience during long tours, her late-night writing sessions, and her ability to turn simple daily moments into spiritual lessons. Their family trips may not have been extravagant, but they were full of warmth and belonging. Even when the demands of ministry weighed heavily, Gloria never let her family feel neglected. Recently, Gloria has spoken about wanting to slow down and spend more time in peace. Her family, though emotional, supports her decision wholeheartedly. After decades of serving through words, music, and faith, she now wishes to listen, reflect, and simply be. Bill Gaither, in a heartfelt interview, expressed both pride and tenderness for his wife's choice, saying, "Gloria has given over 60 years of her life to the church, our family, and the world. I think it's time for her to rest in peace, hug her grandchildren, take a walk in the garden, and listen instead of talking all the time. That's what she deserves." Her grandchildren, now teenagers and young adults, have also expressed their deep love for her. They often share stories online, remembering her as Nana, the storyteller who always had a book open and wisdom ready to share. Fans across the world have echoed these sentiments. When Gloria announced her plans to step away, social media filled with messages of gratitude and tears. People shared how her songs carried them through cancer, loss, and loneliness. Others credited the Gaither homecoming programs for leading them back to faith. Churches across the country held tribute events, and radio stations aired hour-long dedications in her honor. What stands out most about these tributes is how personal they are. Gloria Gaither never chased fame, yet people felt like they truly knew her. Her words were intimate, healing, and real. Her songs reminded listeners that God's love doesn't need to be loud, it just needs to be true. To this day, her music fills nursing homes, echoes in prison chapels, and comforts those sitting alone in quiet living rooms. Her lyrics are written not just on paper, but in people's hearts. As she steps back from public life, fans and loved ones are not saying goodbye. They're simply honoring a new chapter. Gloria hasn't said this is the end. She's only said it's time to rest, to listen more than speak, and to embrace peace after a lifetime of giving. In doing so, she continues teaching the world how to live with faith, humility, and love. Her legacy is not written in lights or carved in stone. It lives in every song sung, every heart touched, and every life changed by her words.